Welcome to the notes on graphing systems of linear inequalities. So if we know how to graph linear inequalities, now we're going to do a system. A system, that just means there's going to be more than one inequality. So they're not new steps, there's just going to be more steps. And here are the steps of solving a system of linear inequalities. All right, we're going to keep it real simple. Number one, all right, graph each inequality on the same XY plane. So when we graph, remember there's kind of three things we've got to do. Obviously, the first thing we got to get y equals, again, well, really it's going to be an inequality symbol, but we got to get that slope-intercept form, mx plus b. All right, depending on what that symbol is, it, depends, but y by itself. The next thing we need to know, is it dashed or a solid line? Dashed or solid, and then we got to make sure, hey, to shade, okay, above or below, depending on the inequality. So we're going to do that first on the xy plane, same xy plane. Now, the solution is where the shading intersects, or I kind of put where they overlap, and you'll see what I mean in a second here. So here's a quick example. Graph the solution of the system. So when I look at this, I can already tell this first one right here. Again, that's going to definitely be dashed, and I know that the one on the bottom is going to be a solid line because it's got that equal sign. So just keep that in mind when we're solving those. So let's go one at a time here. We'll do the one on the top first. X minus y. All right, less than 2. I need to get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract x, subtract x, subtract x. Well, I'll be left with negative y is less than, again, I want to keep the minus x in front just to keep it in that form. And then we're going to divide everything by a negative 1. So divide by negative 1. Everything gets divided by negative 1 because we don't want negative y, we want positive y. So our final inequality will be y is, now when we divide by negative, remember that sign needs to flip, so that needs to go the other way. So it's going to be greater than, negative by negative is a positive, so that's positive x, and then that's minus 2. So there's our first inequality. I'm going to solve the second one first, then we'll graph each of these. So our second one is x plus 2y is greater than or equal to negative 1. So get x by itself, or y by itself. So I want to subtract x. So I'll have 2y, all right, greater than or equal to. Now again, I want to keep the x in front. Minus x, minus 1. One step away, divide everything by 2. Our final inequality on this one will be y greater than or equal to negative, remember there's really a negative 1 in front of that x, so that's going to be negative 1/2 x. Negative divided by positive stays negative, and then minus 1/2. So there are our two equations, or our two inequalities. So there's one here, there's one here. Now we're going to graph each of these. And we'll see what we've got. Okay, so first the one on the left, minus 2. So we're going to go down to negative 2. All right, slope is 1 over 1. All right, so I'm just going to go up 1 over 1. There's a point. Up 1 over 1. There's a point. Oops, sorry, miscounted there. Up 1 over 1. There's a point. Up 1 over 1. Now, remember, I can go negative, negative. Down 1 over 1. So there's my graph. It's going to be dashed. So I'm just going to kind of dash that all the way through. That's a dashed line. Now it's greater than. So we look at that y-intercept. Where do the y-intercepts get greater? Well, they get greater as we go up. So all of this will be a solution. Now I'm not going to shade it all in yet because I want to wait till the end to see where my intersection is. Now the graph in blue, we start at negative 1/2. So negative 1/2, that's kind of not perfect, but it's right in the middle there. The slope is negative 1/2, down negative 1/2. So we're going to go down 1 over 2. There's a point. Down 1 over 2. There's a point. Remember, we can go the other direction. We can go up 1 to the left 2. Positive 1, negative 2. So there's our points right there. Now it's going to be a solid line because the inequality has the equal sign. And now this again is greater than. So we're going to graph above. All right. And where do the y-intercepts get greater? They get greater above. So we're going to graph all of this.
Alice Shook, please come to the front office.
Now we want to see where is our intersection. Where is our intersection? Where do both graphs intersect, and I'm going to highlight that right here, and this will be our solution. So you can see all of this area is where both intersect. So the solution is this region in here. So you will pick the graph that highlights that. Again, I can't pick down here because only the blue is over here, and I can't pick over here because it's just the first inequality. It's got to be where they both intersect or overlap, and that's how you find the solution to a system of inequalities.